Welcome back, race fans, to the Metro Ford Cup Series here at the Old Bastards Racing League. Today, we're at the virtual Kentucky Speedway for a bit of 4th of July shenanigans. Good to have you back. As always, my name is James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, single car qualifying is underway. Let's see who else is out on track here. Looks like Michael Watts in the number 84 machine making his way around. Right now, pole set by Brian Lynch with a 30.93. Lloyd Moore currently qualified second. Jonathan Green qualified third. We got a fair amount of drivers who haven't went out on track yet. Huff, Nelson, Ogle, McDaniel, Dodson, Fellenbaum, and Turner have yet to put down qualifying times. Now, Joe Nelson, the 106, will not be putting down a time as he is our lone triple-digit driver out on track. A rookie here for the Metro Ford Cup Series. Watts moves up a little bit in the 84 machine at 31.31. Let's check in on Al Turner. Nope, Turner has disappeared. We'll check in on Tom Ogle. Running I'm going to go ahead and assume that's a patriotic White Claw paint livery, and that is indeed the case out of the number 11 Ford Mustang. Expecting and hoping to see a fair amount of patriotic liveries as opposing title contender and Canadian Dwayne MacArthur off this week. I believe he's on a bit of a vacation or some sort of travel. He will be not able to make it here tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up the point standings for these drivers. Now this is round 18 of the season, just about halfway through the year for these drivers. Coming into tonight, Dwayne MacArthur, the fast Canadian, he's about 120 points ahead of Eddie Jones, who's in second. Tom Ogle, though, who's currently on screen, the number 11 machine, moving up to second in qualifying, could have a good day here. He's fourth in points. 184 points back from MacArthur. As Jones, his next competition, I believe, yes, he's qualified sixth. So Ogle able to put down a burner, says one lap is enough, and comes down pit road. Now, will we see the number 11 machine go back out for a hot lap, or is he done? As we check in on Greg Mcdaniel, the number 30 machine, now qualified sixth after his opening lap. And yes, we get reports Ogle, the number 11 machine, has put it back behind the wall, so he's going to do one lap in qualifying, and that will be enough for him. Let's see what McDaniel does. Does he improve on a 31 flat? He does not. A 31.05 that last time by. So I think it's about everybody that's qualified that's going to qualify. McDaniel will take a cool down lap. And he will bring it down pit road. Things are looking extremely sharp here tonight. So as always, as qualifying comes to a close, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as we get ready to go racing. Starting on pole, Brian Lynch, the number 9. Tom Ogle starts second on the 11. Lloyd Moore in the 26 starts third. Jonathan Green starting fourth. Brian Lindsay fifth in the grid. Greg McDaniel starting sixth. Eddie Jones starts seventh. Daryl Winninger starts eighth. Joey Buscemi starting ninth. Steve Thompson starts 10th. John Hinchcliffe starting 11th. Lee Warsdell starting 12th. Dean Gear starts 13th. Michael Watt starts 14th. Chris Clark starts 15th. Mike Schrader starts 16th. Jason Fellenbaum starting 17th. Ken Huff starts 18th. Al Turner starting 19th. Bert Dodson starting 20th. And Joe Nelson will be starting 21st to round out the grid here tonight. Not a bad grid for a holiday weekend for these drivers. As we get ready to roll them all out here. Gonna wait for our iRacing safety car to roll themselves out. It's going to be Lynch, Ogle, the front row. Moore, Green, your second row. Lindsay and McDaniel, your third row. Looks like Dean Gear has some sort of problems. Now, talking to Gear before the race, he was feeling very under the weather, so not sure if he's going to make his way out in the 92 machine or if he may be a driver that has to kind of head out early. A lot of good-looking cars out here tonight following our iRacing safety car. And away they go for 150 laps here tonight. And already looks like that, I think that was Jonathan Green up on the high line looking for a way around. Looks like Dean Gear did start from pit road, so able to make it out onto track. As they are bumping and grinding already inside the top five. Everybody trying to find a way through. There's Greg McDaniel, number 30 machine. He's kind of in the thick of it. Just ahead of him is Green and Jones going side by side. Right behind is Thompson and Winninger with some side-by-side action. Now these opening laps, so important for these drivers to try and get in some sort of before the tire wear becomes a factor. There's Oval on the high side, the number 11 machine. He's side by side with Eddie Jones. Jones making big moves early on here tonight. 3 spots so far as Lynch, Moore, and Lindsay lead the field here. Now, generally after a restart, the first 3 to 5 laps out of these drivers fairly frantic before they hop in a groove, try and cook off some fuel runs, I should say. As now Thompson tries to make a move on Ogle in the number 11 machine. Ogle down 5 spots already tonight. He may be predicting a long green flag run later on and just wants to conserve some tires and maybe let some of the more aggressive guys by. At the top 8 right now, running single file. Behind Buscemi is Jonathan Green, Michael Watts going side by side. That time by is Eddie Jones with the fastest lap of the race, a 31.21 out of Jones. This race scheduled to go about an hour and 15 minutes here, barring any sort of cautions. Now that being said, these guys usually very, very clean if we've seen cautions, it's usually late in the race. And it looks like Buscemi about to get split here by Green and Watts. Green was looking towards the inside line. Watts was looking for the high line. Neither driver really committed there. Now just ahead, it looks like Ogle looking for an outside line against Thompson. As the field kind of getting bunched up here. That's Thompson and Ogle side by side for 7th. They're right behind Daryl Lynch, their number 15 machine. As right now your race leader, Lloyd Moore, stretching the gap 0.6 up over Brian Lindsay. Brian Lynch has fallen back to 3rd now. But a lot of strategy at play here at the Sunday morning Metro Ford Cup Series. High-speed chest at 185 miles an hour. Drivers are already going to be thinking about long green flag runs, trying to keep that average lap time as low as they can. As you see, Thompson kind of maybe slightly overcorrect to avoid getting into the corner panel of Ogle's number 11 machine. Ogle running that middle groove. He's made his way back up into 7th after falling back, and as the fans pointed out, pretty smoothly hanging back, getting ready for the long run. Paving tires and planning strategy. Thompson seems like he wants to press the issue, as now Ogle's right behind Winninger in the 15 machine. Ogle has made the pass, so now it's going to be Thompson having to make the move on the number 15. Looks like he's going to have it here on the outside line. As Ogle sets his sights on Eddie Jones and Greg Mcdaniel going side by side in front of number 11, but here comes Thompson up the high line as well. You're watching the battle for both 4th and 6th on screen here. Now Thompson takes the position back from Ogle. And let's see if that number 67 machine keeps charging forward. He's got Jones, McDaniel right in front of him, running 4th and 5th. Got Daniel Hill join us from the spectator area as well. Another great racer, not able to make his way out on the holiday weekend, but good to have him out in some sort of capacity. A little bit further ahead to Eddie Jones, number 14 machine. That's Greg McDaniel right behind in the 30. As the top 3 of Moore, Lindsay, and Lynch are fairly spread out here. You can see them just out of frame. And already the lap time starting to fall off. Drivers hooked off early on, fast 31.2s that last time by. Just about everybody's in the 32.4, 32.5 range. So losing about a second, 14 laps in. As we check back in on race leader Lloyd Moore. He's got Brian Lindsay right behind him. Looks like Brian Lynch not out of the mix as well. Now, fairly soon, I think they're going to have a little bit of lap traffic with the likes of Dean Gear, who started from pit road. And here we go, the battle for the lead. Brian Lindsay, Lloyd Moore. Lindsay will take it on the inside line in the 24. And it looks like Brian Lynch is going to follow suit. Moore may have cooked up a little bit too much tire early on. As the field starts to stack up here in the battle for second. Lynch holding on the inside line. Greg Mcdaniel working the inside as well as Moore stays in the high line, the Wonder Bread 26 machine. I think Moore knows those tires may have been prematurely worn as he's holding a wider and wider line. Not sure if that's to save tires or maybe to help facilitate some passes, knowing he's a little bit slower than the cars behind. Top five ever changing. Dean Gear has come down pit road, hopping out of the way of the other drivers. Right now it's Lindsay, Lynch, Mcdaniel, Thompson, and Jones, your top five. But Ogle wants back in the mix in that number 11 machine. We were talking about him early, saying we think he's doing a little bit of tire management tonight. Looks like Chris Clark also coming down pit road, 91 machine. Not quite sure what type of fuel runs we're going to see out of the drivers here tonight. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. Dean Gear has returned back on track. Chris Clark still in pit row. Not sure what happened to him. He leaves his pit stop for 26 seconds, so must have had some sort of damages or something going on. He needed adjusting on that thing. As Lindsay continues getting some laps led here in the 24 machine, clicking it off, making it look relatively easy out front. Again, he's being chased by Brian Lynch, Greg McDaniel. Pete Thompson's up 6 spots now into 4th. It looks like the battle for third getting a little bit more exciting. More so, I should say, for second as McDaniel tries to work up the inside line of Lynch. McDaniel in the 30, Lynch on the number 9 machine. Lynch opts to go high here, carry a little bit more of a swooping line. Now Thompson's looking for a way onto a podium position. I think that's kind of forcing McDaniel to pick up the pace here. Number 30, we saw a big move against the 9 of Lynch, but not able to make it happen. And now Thompson's going to try the long way around. So Thompson and Mcdaniel going side by side for third. And it looks like Thompson will gain the spot, as now that's going to leave Ogle and McDaniel. No, Ogle making quick work of number 30 machine. Here comes Jonathan Green. Worked his way up into fifth. Ooh, Green goes off there in no man's land. Getting up in the marbles, he may be battling a little bit of tire wear as well, as he falls back to sixth now. And that'll put McDaniel in a defensive position inside the top five in that number 30 Chevrolet. As up front, it's Lindsay, Lynch, and Thompson. Thompson, a big mover tonight, up 7 spots. He is our hard charger for the evening. So far, at least. Lindsay clicking off laps, a 32.2 his last time by, a 10th faster than Brian Lynch, but pretty evenly paced with Thompson in third. A little bit further back where things are getting exciting. That's Whittaker, Jones, Hinchcliffe in a 3-car battle for 8th. Heard somebody drag a little bit of body work against the wall. Didn't quite see who that was. As we go back to yet again another battle. This is Ogle, McDaniel, and Green running 4th, 5th, and 6th. This is where the tire savings are going to really come into play here. Very impressed, 30 laps in, the top 5 separated by about 0.8 of a second. And still not very sure how long these guys can go on a set of tires. The pace is off by about 2 seconds from their fastest so far of the evening. And right now, all 21 drivers that started this July 4th weekend race still out on track rolling forward. looks like Mcdaniel still feeling dicey against Ogle's number 11 machine. They're starting to bunch up just a little bit. This is giving Lindsay your race leader the absolute smallest of breakaways. He's about between 3 and 4 tenths ahead of Brian Lynch, running second. And I do wonder how beneficial that clean air is for your race leader, Brian Lindsay. Lindsay has had his share of bad luck so far this season. Out of 15 starts, he's had DNFs for about 30% of them. And his last top 5 was way back April 24th running Talladega, with his highest finish so far of the season. So hopefully Lindsay can shake off a little bit of that bad luck, keep charging forward. Now, you can see the breakaway that your top 6 drivers are having. Jonathan Green at the back of this, number 37. He's pulled about 3/4 of a second, about 8 tenths over Michael Watts at 84. Watts did not have a good showing in qualifying the 84 machine, but still able to climb 7 positions so far tonight in the opening run, in a very strong 7th place. And that is John Hinchcliffe on the number 50 right behind. And we've got a battle for 7th. This is going to bode well for your top 6, able to slow down the rest of the pack behind them. As Hinchcliffe tries the long way around down the back stretch. And it looks like Hinchcliffe may have it here by about 0.04 of a second as they cross the line. But Watts not going to make it easy for that number 50 machine, still charging back up the inside line. That's allowed Darrell Winninger in the 15 to pull his way back up, possibly making this a 3-car battle. Hinchcliffe gets the pass squarely now. Winninger is going to try and follow suit. Still using that high line. Looks like Winninger may have a little bit of scrape marks on the right side of that number 15 machine. Trying to get a better camera angle. Can't quite tell if he's had contact with that outside wall or not. Well, back up front, looks like things are getting a little bit more packed together. Lynch closing it down there to about 1/10 of a second, albeit very briefly. And now it looks like, yeah, it's still going to be the top 6 drivers. Linked up about 1.1 seconds from first, Brian Lindsay, back to 6th, Jonathan Green. And this pack has pulled a full second over John Hinchcliffe. Mike Schrader, the number 4 machine, he's going to come down pit road for a green flag stop on lap 42. Jason Fellenbaum's going to follow suit as well. Those are drivers that may be looking at a 3-stop race here tonight, barring any cautions. As here comes Brian Lynch. Looking to keep some pressure on Lindsay here. Now towards the end of this fuel run, the drivers that think they have a little bit of tire left underneath them compared to those in front start measuring up the competition, taking some jabs to see what they can do. So it looks like Lynch in the number 9 Chevrolet, the Patriotic Hooters paint scheme, trying to get maybe a little bit more. How much tire left does Lynch have? 45 laps in, challenging race leader Brian Lindsay. We know Lynch has pace. He qualified on pole. But does he have the tire management in the back pocket? Because if he takes a lunge and falls a little bit short, you got guys such as Thompson, Ogle, Mcdaniel right there in striking position. There are some wily veterans inside the top 6 here today. Lynch takes a peek at the inside line once more. Looks like Lindsay's going to shut the door on him. Greg McDaniel comes down pit road. Lloyd Moore will do the same in the 26 machine. Are we going to see drivers attempt a 2-stop strategy tonight if we can go green for the duration? I think your top 5 is going to tell the story here, how long they can stay out for as Hinchcliffe, number 50 machine, comes down pit road. It's Lindsay, Lynch, Thompson, Ogle, Green, your current top 5, but Lynch has a big blink there. And is Lindsay maybe getting set up for pit road? Not yet. Steve Thompson, Jonathan Green, though, they're going to come in on lap 50, as well as Eddie Cajun Jones. The top 4 continue to stay out here. This may end up being a fuel mileage race. So who's going to stay out? It's going to be Ogle, Whittinger, and possibly Huff. Ogle's going to try and give himself a little bit extra fuel here. But will he have anybody to draft with as he comes out of pit road when he eventually does? Man, really staying out in number 11. But for the most part, it looks like driver's going to be on a two-stop strategy here this evening. With a few drivers that it seems like planning on an early call to make it a three-stop. Still 20 drivers out on track out of the 21 that entered. Ooh, a lot of smoke out of Ogle's number 11 on pit road. We're going to have to hope he doesn't get a penalty. Winninger stays out the longest so far, 53 laps on a tank of gas. Lap time's about 2.2 seconds off his fastest of the night. And we got a report, I think Ogle may have gotten penalized as he's been in that pit stall for 30 seconds and dropping down the standings here. So I think he cooked it in a little bit too hot on pit entry. And we'll have to pay the price. Let's see what happened there. That's the wrong one. So watch this, Ogle in the patriotic White Claw number 11 machine. Hooks it in way too hot, locks up the brakes already at the commitment cones, and looks to me like Ogle, out of all the drivers to get penalized, you would think Ogle would be aware of it. But poor Ogle will drop down the standings. Only driver who has not come down pit road, Winninger, the number 15 machine. Really stretching it out here. How long can Winninger go on a tank of gas? Really stretching the run. He's got a 30-second advantage over Greg Mcdaniel. Mcdaniel came in on lap 47 for his green flag stop. Winninger clicking off laps, making it look easy. 6 drivers on the lead lap as this pit cycle has worked its way through for the most part. Just one driver. Winninger, the number 15 machine, has yet to come down pit road. There's Eddie Jones, the number 14 machine, looking to get his lap back. Winninger having the forethought to take a wider line there to allow the faster cars on good rubber underneath them. Make that pass a little bit easier for all parties involved. Now, what I'm thinking now that Winninger has stretched his run 61 laps, I'm wondering if the drivers this time around may stretch their runs out a little bit longer to give themselves the best tires that are underneath them for the final stint as Winninger comes down pit road. That's going to put, I believe, Greg Mcdaniel as your race leader. He's got a 1.7-second gap over Jason Fellenbaum. And Fellenbaum now has company with the likes of Thompson. And it looks like Jonathan Green as well, as Thompson takes over what will now be the second place position. McDaniel will be your new race leader. Thompson second, Green third, Fellenbaum fourth. And Brian Lynch shows in fifth here. Putting the pressure on that lime green 57 machine of Fellenbaum. So it looks like the pit cycle has worked its way out. We've got 15 drivers on the lead lap. 20 still out there trucking of the 21 entries. As right now, that's going to make Jason Fellenbaum your hard charger of the night after this pit cycle has completed. The 57 machine up 12 spots from where he originally qualified. Now, I don't see Fellenbaum with any results so far this season. So doing a quick search on our records, our points here, and not seeing his name come up. So I think this may be his first race out with the Metro Ford Cup Series. And having a pretty good showing for it. Up front, Steve Thompson runs second, Jonathan Green third, Brian Lynch putting the pressure on in fourth. As we are not quite yet to the halfway mark in today's main event. As things getting a little bit more bunched up very slowly up here in the front. Mcdaniel, your race leader, has about a 1 second lead on Thompson. Thompson 8/10 up over Brian Lynch, who has Jonathan Green tucked in right behind him. Other than that, the field fairly spread out. Dean Gear has come back down pit road. Hopefully he's able to get back out on track again. He was not feeling well coming into today's main event. As McDaniel keeps charging out front, pulling even a little bit more gap at a time over Thompson. McDaniel came in a lap 47, Thompson 49. You've got Brian Lynch in third. He came in a lap 50. Well, we would call an overcut if it wasn't for Daryl Winninger, who came in late on lap 61. Winninger last time by that number 15 machine as he runs 11th over a full second, if not 2 seconds in a lot of situations, faster than the rest of the field. Let's check back in with that number 15 machine running around in 11th. He is closing the gap up to Buscemi in the 56. That'll be the battle for inside the top 10. Winninger trying something pretty wild on strategy. Kind of reminds me of the stuff we've seen out of Andrew Hess in the 54 machine. Who, for some reason, not able to make it here tonight as well. So the holiday weekend pulling some drivers away. Further up, we got a battle for 5th going on. Here comes Brian Lindsay up the inside line of Fellenbaum. Ooh, looked like Lindsay got all sorts of out of shape there. That's going to cause Eddie Jones to check up in the 14. Everybody being real careful here. It's now a 3-car battle for 5th. Fellenbaum, Lindsay, Jones, all in the fray. As we're on board with Eddie Jones, watching the side-by-side action between Lindsay and Fellenbaum. Crossing the start-finish line. Fellenbaum running a much more swooping line for 1 and 2 as Lindsay tries to wedge it on the inside and get deep out of there, but it looks like it's going to go to the advantage of Fellenbaum. Again, up 12 spots so far in that 57. Oh, and there's contact between Lindsay and Fellenbaum. Looks like everybody able to get through that one okay, as Lindsay falls back slightly. That's going to give Eddie Jones the 6th place spot. And here comes Dean Gear on fresh tires, 92 machine, working his way quickly around. And as we are at the halfway mark, I want to once again give a big thank you to our sponsors, especially our title sponsor, Metro Ford Cup Series. If you're looking for new or used inventory, check them out at emetroford.com. We've got Dr. Amy, the thyroid fixer, coming on board this season. We've got kimbowl.net, and we've also got Victor Lane Sports. So again, thank you all to our sponsors coming on board, supporting the series, the league, the broadcast, as we could not do it without those guys. Back up front, action is happening. Greg McDaniel has Steve Thompson in hot pursuit. Thompson looks up the inside line. Will he get clear of the 30 here for the race lead? Yes, he will. Thompson, your new race leader. We'll put McDaniel back into second. Brian Lynch still sits third. Thompson clicking off laps, making it look easy. It looks like Brian Lynch is now going to pressure Greg McDaniel for the second place spot. As Thompson quickly pulls about a 6/10 advantage over McDaniel in that number 30 machine. Lynch staying right there with McDaniel. Not sure if we're going to see that number 9 machine take a jab at the second place spot or just click off laps under these green flag conditions. MacArthur commenting that this is Thompson's kind of race where he's very successful. We're going to see that number 67 machine will be hard to be touched, especially if this green flag racing continues. Now, all three of the top drivers came in between lap 47 and 50. We've seen as much as 60 laps out of a tank of gas. So I would imagine if they keep this up, they're going to pit around anywhere between lap 100 to 105. They give themselves the best tires for the final stint in what looks to be a two-stop race. At least at this point, it'll be interesting to see if the drivers that were looking for a three-stop strategy, if that's going to pan out for them later on. But McDaniel, to his credit, as well as Lynch, starting to very slowly close that gap back up to Thompson, the race leader. Now, it looks like still relatively clean track ahead of these drivers. They've got about a 3.5 second advantage over Jonathan Green in fourth. Green kind of in no man's land here. He's 3.6 seconds back from Brian Lynch. He's about 3.2 up from Jason Fellenbaum. So just clicking off laps, having a nice Sunday cruise, as they would say. We'll have some racing going on towards the back. Eddie Jones, Darrell Winninger battling for the 7th place spot. As we go checking back in with Thompson, McDaniel and Lynch have rapidly closed the gap, less than a half a second separating these top three drivers. as Brian Lynch has really closed the gap here to Greg Mcdaniel. And a good comment was made, keep an eye out for Daryl Wininger. The number 15 machine has worked his way back up into 7th with much fresher tires underneath them. In most cases, at least 10 lap fresher tires than anybody else out on track. And to give you an idea of the lap times, Thompson with a 33.1 his last time by. Wininger surprisingly with a 33.12, so Wininger may not have the tire advantage I was thinking. Let's wait for it to update here. So Wininger, when he has clean track, runs anywhere between a tenth to 2/10 faster than anybody in front of him. But he's about 8-9 seconds back from Steve Thompson, your race leader. So it's going to be interesting to see if that tire strategy, if he has enough time to really use it to his full advantage. Another 3-pack of drivers we have out on track is going to be 5th, 6th, and 7th. Fellenbaum, Lindsay, and Wininger all in the fray here. Now we've already seen a bit of contact tonight between Fellenbaum in the 57 and Lindsay the 24. And now Wininger with those fresher tires, and the number 15 machine is going to try and take advantage of the situation, working his way up a little bit further as well. Jonathan Green comes down pit road on lap 93. The first driver for a planned second stop of the night and possibly final stop. Again, we saw Wininger go 61 laps on a tank of gas. Giving us an idea of what the maximum run these drivers can get. To Wininger's credit, he's worked his way back up into 5th. About 3/10 back. No, a quarter of a second from Brian Lindsay, so still making moves. But I'm very curious to see if Wininger can get clean track ahead of him. What type of lap times can we see him put down? Pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen so we can see what your favorite driver is. Now let's talk about the triple-digit driver, Joe Nelson, the 106 machine. The rookie here for the Metro Ford Cup Series, up 8 spots. Again, he was not able to qualify with that triple-digit number, but still having a good night overall. Has worked his way up into 13th. And a lot of drivers kind of in no man's land, as we touched on earlier. Not a lot of traffic in front or behind them. You just got to focus on hitting your marks, tire management, and keep charging forward here. Nelson's last stop was on lap 49. Brian Lindsay's coming down pit road for his second stop early on the brakes. Chris Clark, Michael Watts will follow suit. Trying to think. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Mcdaniel bends it on the pit entry. And the number 30 machine, Thompson and Lynch were able to get through fine. McDaniel's looking for a clean way to come down pit road. Oh, absolutely gutting for the number 30 machine. Just caught the apron, barely avoided getting in the back of Thompson. Drills the wall right by the photographer there. And all that hard work for McDaniel will be thrown out the window. As now your new race leader, Daryl Winninger, on an alternative strategy here tonight. Fellenbaum moves up to second. Jones has just come down pit road. It's going to put Worsdale up into third. What a night, what a night. This would think things were in their groove and getting relatively settled. It's rapidly changing. Now this should be the final planned stop for a Uh-oh, we got a problem. There we go. Something happened in the booth as well. A bit of a blip on my end. Winninger and Worsdale still staying out. Fellenbaum and Dodson have come down pit road. So I think that may show Jonathan Green with a lap 92 pit stop. Maybe the race leader that we can think. No, it's going to be Thompson, who's moved up to third. I think will be the race leader after Winninger and Worsdale come down pit road. Worsdale coming down pit road for his final stop of the night. Winninger opts to stay out. Winninger still stretching the run, 24 seconds up over Steve Thompson, but a total pit lane time from the time you cross the first set of cones to the time you leave pit road is about 47, 48 seconds here tonight. So I'm not sure how this is going to branch out. We've got fans such as MacArthur saying Winninger really needs to come down pit road if he wants a chance of it here. Otherwise, somebody like Steve Thompson is going to be able to cruise on home to victory. Again, we think Thompson will be showing in first place after Winninger finally makes the call to come down pit road, and Thompson is closing the gap to that number 15 machine. Meanwhile, you've got Jonathan Green running third. He's about 1.8 back from Thompson. You've also got Brian Lynch, who's now putting the pressure on Green. And looks to be making the pass here up to third, nice and easy. He's got 5 lap pressure tires underneath that number 9 machine. Chris Clark comes down pit road for his final stop. Like Thompson and Lynch running very almost identical paces here, both with 31.8. Let's see what it updates to. Thompson with a 32.10, Lynch with a 31.8. So Lynch hauling the mail here. Hopefully not burning out those tires too much. But again, what is Winninger's strategy here? Continue to stay out in the number 15 machine. He can surely know he's losing a bit of time to Thompson. Every lap he stays out over a second, almost 2 seconds in the favor of Steve Thompson. As we've worked back to 8 drivers on the lead lap, the only driver that will not be able to make it to the end on fuel at this point is your race leader, Darrell Winninger in the 15 machine. His last pit stop was lap 61, really stretched the limit of the tank all the way down. But Thompson's closing the gap in second, 2 seconds a lap here. He's gaining on your race leader, who still has to pit. Maybe Winninger's looking for a late race caution, as I just heard some contact. I think that may have been, thought it may have been gear from what I was hearing. It looks like that right side door panel may be a little bit wavy from some contact. Ryan Lindsay, Eddie Jones linking up for 5th. Jones trying to work his way back inside the top 5, up 1 spot from where he qualified. About 3/4 of a second behind this battle for 5th is Watts and Ogle as well. Well done to Ogle, able to capitalize tonight, work his way back in the lead lap, but looks like Ogle hasn't come down pit road yet either since lap 52. So inside the top 10, it's just Winninger and Ogle who have yet to come in for their final stops of the night. Hinchcliffe comes down pit road for his final stop in the evening. I think right now Winninger and Ogle just have to be praying for a late race caution to have any sort of chance. And yeah, we see the fans saying the exact same thing to finish up towards the front. Now, we've seen late race cautions and green-white checkers for Lynch's in the plans here before, but so far it's been 115 laps under clean green flag conditions. Ogle comes down pit road, the number 11 machine, for his final stop of the night. 34 laps left to go. And still, Vinegar has yet to come down pit road. Now, we think he can make it to around lap 122 before that number 15 machine just absolutely has to come down pit road. Surely he'll be sputtering by that point. As there's Greg Mcdaniel, number 30 machine, has managed to work his way back to the lead lap despite his heartbreak on pit road. Now Mcdaniel, with those pit road problems, cost him about 30 seconds, just about a full lap. And he was very, very quick throughout the run, so hate to see it for Mcdaniel, but very glad to see him get back out on track and try and capitalize. Here comes Lee Warsdale trying to work his way past the race leader to get a lap back. And it looks like the 99 machine will be able to do so. Winninger continue to stretch the run. We think he's only got 2 or 3 more laps left of fuel. Thompson has closed the gap to 9 seconds behind the number 15 machine. I think Winninger's got to be praying for a caution here if he wants any chance of holding on to tonight and bringing home a victory. Oh, and as I say that, Winninger almost causes one himself, tagging the outside wall. I wonder if he has some sort of tire failure. Look how much he's plowing up the track here. Yeah, he's going to come down pit road. I wonder if he lost a tire on that number 15 machine. So that's going to put Thompson as your race leader. Lynch will move up to second. Jonathan Green will move up to third. And, oh, that almost got really, really exciting. We were saying Winninger may have needed a caution. We didn't mean for him to possibly be the reason. Got another race going on. Looks like Jason Fellenbaum, Michael Watts battling for 6th side by side. Fellenbaum takes the position. Ryan Lindsay still has Eddie Jones 4/10 behind him. So now the top 5 continues to get a little bit more locked in. Thompson, Lynch, Green, Lindsay, and Jones, your top 5. And everybody's looking good here to make it through the end. If we can go green, this could very well be Thompson's race. Thompson running a limited schedule here this season, still looking for his first win. He got a second at Martinsville way back April 10th. And after that race, he's still been searching for a top 5. It's going to be 25 laps left to go as Thompson makes his way around 3 and 4. There's the number 15 machine of Winninger getting his lap back after a very late pit stop on lap 120. Winninger, I think he's got his hands cut out for him here. He did a 31.46 his last time by, so just about 2 seconds faster than Thompson, but how long can he keep that pace up? With 25 laps left to go, Winninger basically has to work his way around the entirety of the track here tonight. And then still have tire left in reserve to battle it out with Thompson, who has proven he is very good at tire saving here tonight. Got Fish join us tonight as well in the spectator area, catching the tail end of the Metro Ford Cup Series. So everybody inside the top 5 came in between lap 92 and 98. I'm trying to see here. Really, Winninger is kind of the only dark horse in this equation, I think. For the most part, he's got 20 lap fresher tires than anybody else on track, but he is 27 seconds back from race leader Steve Thompson. I mean, in theory, if he can stay 2 seconds a lap faster for the rest of the race, he could get back up there, but he still has 11 drivers on the lead lap in front of him. Plus lap traffic he's going to have to contend with, so that's going to be a big ask out of the number 15 machine, I think. Now that being said, if Winninger can somehow close the gap as he now moves up to 10th and can somehow even get close to Thompson, you're going to hear me absolutely losing my mind up here in the broadcast booth, as that would be a comeback story for the ages. Let's check in on Winninger. Whittinger's pace falling off slowly, a 32-second. Last time I 31.94. Let's see what it updates to as he crosses the line. A 32.08, 1.3 seconds off the pace of Steve Thompson with 18 laps left to go. Is the field getting fairly stretched out once more? Thompson with a 2-second advantage over Brian Lynch. Lynch with an 8-second advantage over third place Jonathan Green. So good to see yet again a long green flag run out of these drivers. And I think it's safe to say Thompson, when he gets that clean air and green flag run, very tough to beat. Just clicking off laps in the Camry, not having any issues, and really hasn't had any close calls here tonight. A little bit further back, Eddie Jones still lagging behind Lindsay by about 3/4 of a second. Fellenbaum has slowly closed the gap here to about 8/9 behind Jones. You can see him in the bright fluorescent green 57. It was on the right side of your screen. Now, from what I can remember this race, we've seen one close call with outside wall contact with Whittinger, and then Mcdaniel with the pit road problem. But other than that, we haven't had that many close calls here. It's been very clean racing. We're focused on Eddie Jones up 2 spots from where he started. But again, the hard charger tonight, Jason Fellenbaum in the number 57 machine, up 11 spots from where he started. Currently sitting in a very strong 6th place. Looks like things are bunching up here in the battle for 7th. You've got Watts, McDaniel, and Whittinger all in the fray. Watts in the 84 machine, McDaniel the 30, Whittinger the number 15, who's trying something gutsy on strategy. 12 laps left to go. McDaniel takes a peek at the inside line of Watts. Looks like he'll get the position. Whittinger's going to try and follow the number 30 machine through here. There's still moves to be made here with 10 laps left to go. As Lindsay still has Jones just lurking behind here. here we go. Lindsay making a late race move for third against the 37 of Jonathan Green. Eddie Jones sees an opportunity ahead. He wants in the mix. So now it's Thompson, Lynch, Lindsay, your top three. Jonathan Green now showing fifth. Jones has worked his way up to fourth. Six laps left to go. Are we going to see Eddie the Cajun Jones put pressure on the 24 for that final podium spot? Steve Thompson's 2.9 seconds up over Lynch. Lynch 11.6 ahead of this battle for third. What's going to happen here? Jones looking for a little bit better finishing position. The podium just in sight, as they are almost a half lap back from your top two drivers. Get a report that Jonathan Green has tagged the wall. Jones staying right there with Lindsay. Jones came in on lap 98, Lindsay lap 96 for their last pit stop. So just a couple of laps advantage to Jones here, but don't count Fellenbaum out in the number 57. He came in lap 100, so he's got arguably the freshest tires out of this little three-pack, with 3 laps left to go. 3 drivers still battling for that final podium spot. Darrell Winninger, to give him credit, has worked his way all the way back up to 6th after a very wild pit strategy here tonight. Lindsay stretching the gap slightly, knowing if he's got any tires left in reserve, it's time to use them. Put a little difference, a little distance between himself and Jones. Jones may have his hands quickly full with the likes of Jason Fellenbaum. The white flag will be out this time by if Jones doesn't get some forward momentum or spends too much time messing around with Fellenbaum. He's going to lose that chance of a podium here. White flag is out for race leader Steve Thompson, who's pulled 3.5 seconds over Brian Lynch. Right now, all eyes on third place, Brian Lindsay. As it looks like Fellenbaum trying to work the inside line against Jones. Checkered flag is out. Steve Thompson's going to bring home the win here tonight. Brian Lynch finishes second. Brian Lindsay, I believe, is safe to say he's going to get third. Eddie Jones will hold on to the 4th place spot, and Jason Fellenbaum will round out the top 5 here. Great racing amongst these guys, a lot of fun, and that's what 150 green flag laps will look like at the Metro Ford Cup Series. Oh, Lynch might have missed the mark there slightly. Getting them lined up for our photos. They're all missing the marks. Guy's not with it today. And great race, clean racing all the way around. We're going to try and get these drivers up here into victory lane. And Steve Thompson's going to burn it down, his first win of the season. A very well-deserved win. Enjoying the moment here. We're going to wait for these top three drivers to get up in victory lane. What a great race, clean from start to end. As we're still waiting on Steve Thompson, Brian Lynch, and Brian Lindsay to make their way to the waiting room. We've got Lynch, we've got Lindsay. No, we've got Dean Gear. We're still waiting on Lindsay and Thompson to make their way up. As we try and herd cats here at the Metro Ford Cup Series.
How's it going, sir?
There we go. We got Brian Lindsay joining us here in the broadcast booth. Brian, great run tonight. A little bit of contact we saw throughout the race, but overall a pretty clean evening for you in that number 24 Chevrolet.
It was a hard-fought race. It was definitely fun.
Now, Brian, do you think this was going to be a fuel and tire management race, or what were you expecting coming into tonight?
I figured it was going to be a tire management race. The easier you were on your tires, the better you were going to be on the long run.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Are you pretty happy with your strategy coming into tonight as far as when you were going to come down pit road and seeing some drivers do a bit of an undercut, some doing a bit of an overcut?
Yeah, I was a little worried when they pitted a little bit before me, but it ended up working out in the long run.
Well, awesome, Brian. I know I was pumped to see out there the 24 machine, the fans such as MacArthur tuning in, cheering you on as well. A lot of fun watching you do well tonight. Who do you want to give a quick shout out to that helps make this evening possible?
I want to give a shout out to my team, Dwayne, Eddie, Steve, and all of those guys.
Awesome. Brian, good job tonight, my friend. Good time talking to you, and hope to have you back up here in the near future.
I hope to be so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That was Brian Lindsay bringing home the second. Up next, we got Brian Lynch joining us in the number 9 Chevrolet. Brian, great race out there. Seemed like it was pretty clean and relatively carefree all the way through.
Yeah, hey, James. Yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a lot of give and take amongst the drivers. We saw across track a couple of moments that hinted we were going to have problems, but for the most part, not much contact between drivers or walls, and it seemed like the incidents we did see were mostly single car. So was the track fairly comfortable for you to drive, or what led to such good racing here tonight?
Yeah, it's just I guess just the way this league is, man. Guys are just clean and give each other a lot of room, give and take, and just clean racing all around.
Well, Brian, it was good to have you back up here. Great result tonight out of that number 9 machine. Who do you want to give a quick shout out to that helped make it happen?
Oh, just everybody in the league. Patrick with Metro Ford and Steve and Dwayne and all the guys that help make this thing go. They do a great job.
Awesome, Brian. Great job tonight, my friend. Good time talking to you, and hope to have you back up here in the coming weeks.
All righty. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. And up next, the man, the myth, the cowboy legend, Steve Thompson, put it in the top spot. Steve, run a limited schedule, but when you come out, still got it, my friend.
Oh my God, it felt so good to win. I haven't gotten a handle on this car, and I practiced a bunch this week, and finally started to feel what it was doing. So it's pretty exciting. It's like felt like I was never going to win again.
Now, Steve, the fans were kind of commenting through their broadcast tonight saying if you get back in the rhythm, get back in the groove, and kind of get back to the old pace, you'll be a force to be reckoned with. Do you feel like you're starting to get back to where you think you belong?
I felt pretty good today. I finally ran some consistent laps. My lap times have been all over the place. I've been over driving this car. So I don't know. I mean, those other guys are pretty tough. Ogle made a mistake, and so did Brian Lindsay's not pitting early enough. Brian was really fast. He's practiced with me all week, so he's really picked up his pace.
Now, Steve, I know real life and work has been a big tactic. Are we going to see the number 67 machine running a bit more often for the duration of this season, or is it still going to be kind of a limited schedule when you can make it out?
I'm hoping now I might be able to finish out the season, run every Sunday. That's what I'm hoping for. So I also want to thank my new sponsor, Dr. Amy Horniman. She's been great. This is her first win on a Cup car, actually on one of my cars. So if you get a chance, go check her out, dramyhorniman.com. She's a thyroid fixer. She's saved my wife's life. I mean, she's an amazing lady. And even if you don't have thyroid issues, if you're just looking to regain your health and lower your insulin and all kinds of stuff and lose weight, go check her out. She also has podcasts. She does one or two a week. She's got all kinds of free information. You don't even have to be one of her patients. So check it out, dramyhorniman.com.
Well, Steve, very well said. Good to have you back up here for the first one of the season. Hope to see you back in the groove and up here more often. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to? Any other supporting sponsors, friends, family?
Yeah, I want to thank Patrick Milligan with Metro Ford of Chicago. He sponsors this series, and of course, he puts in a ton of money for prizes at the end of the year. He's put over $3,000 in this series. So if you're looking for a new or used vehicle, go check out emetroford.com. He has a ton of used inventory, late model vehicles, and we've got about 14 new Fords in, which is saying something. So go check it out, emetroford.com. And of course, I want to thank my wife, Wendy, for all her support. Let me do this thing, and all the admins in the league, and of course you broadcasting. You sure help get the word out there. This is a great league.
Awesome. Good to be a part of it, Steve. Congrats on the win, my friend. It's been a long time, and again, I hope to see you back up here more often.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it. Missed you last week. Those other guys did a great job, though.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you guys. And that was Steve Thompson bringing home the win, his first win so far of this season, and a great race, green flag race and start to finish. It was Thompson, Lynch, Lindsay, your top three, and couldn't ask for a better Sunday on a July 4th weekend. As always, on behalf of the Metro Ford Cup Series here at the Old Bastards Racing League, my name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the league, supporting the drivers, and supporting your favorite broadcaster. We look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.